after begging the public to help find her child, Mommy sat in her house as her child decomposed, knowing he was buried in a shallow grave. Mommy, according to police, dug a hole to put her 10-year-old boy in. She knew where her child was.
And through this first full day of searching, we started to think that maybe he's not out there where we're looking.
She wasn't looking for him herself.
This is screaming to me, liar, liar.
So 2 years of Jaden's life, she was actually behind bars on different charges, called child endangerment, drug and weapon charges.
Mommy gets him, and 3 months later, he's in a shallow grave, dead.
Gut-wrenching devastation. I hate to sit and think about just such a senseless killing and such an innocent child losing his life for no reason at all, other than the fact that you don't want to take responsibility and raise your child.
In the last hours, we're learning a lot. As we go to air tonight, tell me, Sydney Sumner, was Mommy spotted at McDonald's?
According to Facebook posts from some very angry locals who spent their time volunteering, who are familiar with this family, she was spotted at McDonald's grabbing food while others were out in the heat, in the wilderness, dealing with the bugs, going through very thick wooded areas, looking for any sign of Jaden. I mean, people were looking through piles of garbage for any clue, any sign of this missing little boy, and she's stuffing her face with a burger.
Okay, you know what? That's bringing up the horrible specter. He's raising his head like a monster. Scott Peterson, remember? Remember this, Sydney Sumner? You and I covered this together. We about fell out when a detective told us, and this was recent because it did not come in at Lacey's murder trial, Lacey and Connor's. We were talking to, I think it was Brokini, you and I, and he said that when Scott Peterson was told, we just got the DNA results from the two bodies that washed up on San Francisco Bay, and it is Lacey and Connor. Within 5 minutes, Scott Peterson asked if he could stop at In-N-Out for a double-double with cheese, a large fry, and some kind of a frosty drink. He just got told, your wife and child are dead. Those are their bodies. And he wanted a double-double, whatever that is. So obviously, it did not affect Mommy's appetite. Another thing, Sydney Sumner, and again, I'm projecting, and Dr. Sue Kornbluth's going to have a field day with this. After my fiance was murdered, I remember losing down to 89 pounds. The thought of food nauseated me. And I can still remember the first thing I consumed. I was staying at my mom and dad's, Sid, and went into the fridge and drank some orange juice. I remember that moment that I finally wanted to drink something. Now, tell me again, how did we find out, you actually found out, how did you find out Mommy is chowing down at McDonald's while her son is missing and she knows he's in a shallow grave decomposing?
Jackson locals who know this family, who are familiar with Jaden from school, who have seen Felicia Gross around town, are angry. They are up and they are posting about all of the things that she did and didn't do during the search for her missing son. So someone said, oh, I saw her at McDonald's getting food while other people are out looking for her kid. So people are not happy about this situation and that she blatantly lied and led people to believe there was hope to bring Jaden home safely.
Well, another thing, taking Gayhart and all of his people away from their families to look for her son through the night, through the elements, walking shoulder to shoulder, coming up with everything they could while she's at McDonald's. Ben Powers, now what were you saying about how people react? There's no playbook for grief, blah, 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 blah. And now Mommy's spotted with a Big Mac, chowing down. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's still, you got to eat. She can't just stop eating completely. So, I mean, I can see how that
Oh
can be
my
spun against
stars!
her.
Well,
But, I mean, there are people that do
you
stress
gotta
eat. I
eat.
mean, the same is true. I mean, you have to eat. I mean, she's got to keep living,
You're
keep eating,
amazing.
keep going on. But, I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
You
It's a
just
hamburger.
took
Who cares?
that nasty wet hay and you spun it out into gold, Rumpelstiltskin. Dr. Sue Kornbluth, we clearly need a shrink. Okay. If mommy has taken to her bed and can't even get out of bed because of grief, I can understand that. But mommy chowing down at McDonald's on a Mac meal, what? That ain't gonna play with the jury, doctor.
This is infuriating, okay? She's out having a Big Mac or whatever while her child is missing. Nancy, this is screaming to me, liar, liar. And I don't know what is going on here, if it's mental illness or what, but I'm thinking about Anthony right now, and not in a great way. That some of the same stuff is going on here. To me, Nancy, it seems like it's a mother that doesn't want her child.
Oh, you just said something really, really smart, Dr. Sue. You just stepped on a landmine because I've got some news for you. But I want to first, hold on before I lose this thought. Trooper Matt Gayhart joining us. Trooper, I'm sure you love it when people give you suggestions for your investigation. Why don't you? And then they, fill in the blank, like see a psychic, consult tarot cards, blah, blah. It goes on forever. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out on a limb. I wish you guys would pull the McDonald's video and just watch her demeanor. Maybe at the drive-thru. Was she happy and cheery? What did she order? Did she start eating right then when she got the food before she could even get on the street? Did she go in? I hope she goes in so I could watch in detail mommy chowing down while you're out looking for her son, which she knows his remains are in a shallow grave. So we've got the McDonald's videotape. I'm happy to get it for you. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I bet I could. And her HBO, Showtime, Netflix, Amazon usage while you're out searching. She was holed up in her room with AC on, chowing down on McDonald's, watching pay-per-view. And I want to find out every single thing she watched. When children pass out or they are not waking up after they've had too many meds, typically parents call 911. Okay, we've seen this claim before. At trial, Top Mom Casey Anthony claimed that Keely died in the pool, but instead of calling the ambulance or having a funeral, she was just put in black plastic trash bags and thrown in a swamp. Okay, see, that is just screams lie. Dr. Thomas Coyne, I need you, and I need you now. How, since his body has been decomposing, will we be able to get a COD, cause of death?
You sure hope so. It depends upon the amount of decomposition. So I'm assuming that since he was identified at the time the body was recovered, that hopefully he has not decomposed enough to still have tissue present that, number one, may allow you to see if he had any trauma, if he was asphyxiated or beaten, stabbed, what have you. But more importantly, with regards to toxicology, enough tissue left to test for various substances. So you can test if there's any blood or bodily fluids. You can certainly use that, but we can also go to tissue, and we certainly have, hopefully, tissue present that would allow us to find those answers.
Okay, Dr. Coyne, I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to miss a word you said, but could you please break it down? When you say get tissue, what does that mean? A fingernail,
Sure.
a toenail, hair? Is it blood? Is it urine? And how do you get it? Is it skin? What do you mean by tissue? Do you go in and suck
Absolutely.
out a part of the liver cell? What does that mean, and how do you
Yeah,
do
sure.
it? And you also said, I know this is a compound question, disallowed in court, but I think you can handle it. What do you mean by determining if he was asphyxiated or ligature strangled or bludgeoned? How do you look at the body and tell
Absolutely.
that's what happened?
So let's assume this is a normal body who just died recently. So you're going to begin with an external examination, looking at their body from head to toe, looking for signs of injury. So bruising, stab marks, lacerations, any particular injury. After the external examination is done, we proceed inward and we look at all of the body cavities, including with inside the skull, examine the brain, examine all of the organs internally, the tissues after they're reflected, and that allows us to see what injuries may be present. So if a person was strangled, you may very well see injuries on the neck, bruising on the outside of the neck, abrasions, scratch marks. As we remove the skin or reflect the skin backwards, you may see hemorrhaging in the neck muscles, fracturing of the cartilage or bones in the neck, things that suggest that there were pressure applied to the neck. You may also see soft signs like petechial hemorrhages in the face. But if a person was beaten, you may see fractures, bleeding within the head or the brain itself. So those are the findings we look for to identify injury. When a person's decomposed, it gets much more difficult because as the tissue begins to break down, fluids will travel throughout tissues. It's maybe hard to identify an injury. Also, the injury may be gone. So the person may have been stabbed, and the area that was stabbed, or if a person was shot with a gun, let's say, those tissues may be gone simply due to decomposition, but also due to scavenging activity from animals and insects. With regards to toxicology, when we're doing the autopsy, we can actually access the veins on the body using needles, just like you would in a office setting, to obtain blood. But once we open the body, we have access to all of their organs. We have access to the fluid in the eye. We have access to the bile in the gallbladder. And we can actually use their organ tissues themselves, for instance, the liver, the brain, the kidney, to also test for toxicology. So that's what I mean by having access to tissue and access to fluids. There's a lot of potential material there that we can use to hopefully find that cause of death.
Wow. Now I know why you're the chief medical examiner in District 2 Medical Examiner's Office, State of Florida. That was a lot. I was taking notes as quickly as I could. But needless to say, now I know how you get the samples. I know what you mean. And in your experience, isn't it true, Dr. Coyne, that very often if there's a ligature strangling or even a manual strangulation, you can look at the body with the naked eye and tell that's what happened. You don't have to look at the petechiae in the eye. Of course, you'd follow up with that to see if it was burst. But you can look and see the damage around the neck. You can see stab wounds. You can see blunt force trauma. I'm just curious, but you did squirt a little perfume on the pig there when you said scavenger activity. Break it down.
Sure. So, I mean, the second you die, first of all, we are full of bacteria internally within our sinuses, our mouth, within our gut. So the second you die and your immune system is no longer active, your bacteria will begin to eat you. And if you're outside in the heat, that bacteria will grow exponentially. So that's the first thing. Secondarily, you have insects all around you in the environment, especially blowflies that will land upon you, deposit eggs. Those eggs will hatch and will consume the bodily tissues and bodily fluids. But also you have other scavengers, and by that I mean birds like vultures, or you have rodents, you have other predators that may be in the area that come upon the body, smell the process of decomposition, the volatile organic substances, even in a shallow grave, and they'll go looking for that, and they may actually walk away with portions of the body. Sometimes they walk away with the portion of the body that allows you to determine the cause of death, and so you hope those processes don't occur, and if they do, it may make it difficult for you to determine how that person died.